YouTube. How the fuck we doing? Welcome back to episode 2 of Slow Draft Heaven. My name is Dave, and today I will be taking you step by step through 500 fantasy football drafts. I know it sounds a little chaotic. If you're new with us, I am using the Solver Draft Assistant tool to assist me in making these selections. Makes the process a lot easier, a lot more fluid, gives you a lot more flexibility throughout your draft. So, some evergreen notes before we start here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the streaming schedule for the week. Tonight, we have a very special guest. Nez will be joining us at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be ripping a Best Ball Mania. That's right. No more Slow Draft Heaven. We'll be ripping a nice draft with Nez. Chat, I got a new microphone on me, so I look a little bit more like a gamer. It's the only downside. Positives is I think you should be able to hear me just a little bit better now. Let me check with a buddy real quick. If not, then I'm speaking out my ass for nothing. Then Tuesday, we got a very special Evan Silva joining on the show at 7 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Also ripping a BBM. Then followed by that, Wednesday, we got Peter Overset on the channel. He will be joining us before Ship Chasing at, I believe, 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday, we have Justin Herzig also ripping a BBM at around 2 p.m. Eastern. GM, Chad, I am sounding good. That is lovely to hear. That's the first time I've heard that on the show. My boy Matt, happy Monday. Any highlights from the weekend? No highlights at all. All I did was watch World Cup and draft FIFA teams and fantasy football teams. So that was the highlight of my weekend. I'm sure you had a much better one than I did. What about you, Matt? Anything exciting? You hit the lake this weekend? But yeah, fellas, this will be a little bit shorter today. I had a little generational fumble on the side of the stream at the same time as the GOAT, Mr. Overset. So probably be a little bit lower on viewership today, but it's okay. We'll rip through about 50, 60, 75 live draft or slow drafts. And then tonight is where the goodies come in. That's when Nez comes on and gives you some special alpha. We are repping the Underdog shirt, the Dog Bowl Dallas shirt. Got to stay on brand today. So gonna go ahead and start sharing my screen, rip into these slows. And then at the very end, for the 5 people watching, I may drop some FIFA alpha for tomorrow's slate. We have a 2-game slate for the semifinals over on Underdog that just dropped. 3K to first, 2K to second. Nice price structure. Very, very soft lobbies. If you are willing to grind and put the time in it, it is incredibly profitable. But yeah, there's just one, not a big edge on this slate, I believe, but there might be a little something I'm willing to share here at the end of the stream. So we got my boy Mathology on the water all weekend. What a wonderful, wonderful life you're living. Enjoying the summertime before NFL season consumes us all. So let's go ahead and hop right into this. We're going to go onto Underdog. And let me put this on screen. Add to stage. Boom. Day by day, I'm slowly becoming a professional streamer. Okay. So we have about, let me tell you the exact remaining we have on the clock right now. We have 67. Oh my God, look at that. 67 drafts we have to pick in. We have 56 minutes remaining in some of these, so better get onto that. I try to go through all the marathons and sprints just so we can have the solver product for each and every draft. And a lot of these are the drafts I entered last time on stream. So what I kind of want to do here is slowly build up these teams, have chat help me out. Assembling these teams. If you have a player you want me to take in the draft, if you have a suggestion, go ahead, rip it to me. I'll probably take them. We'll talk about some player takes today. Again, go over some of the settings and tools on the solver. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump right into this. To the 3 people watching, Matt, Chad, and the mystery man in third. Thank you for joining. If only Duncan was here for that 6'7" joke. Duncan is Chad's son, and yeah, I mean, I try to stay hip with the kids, man. Stay with all the memes and whatnot. Looks like Chad also had a wonderful weekend. I love to hear it, man. I love to hear it. I love having my friends in here also support me. So let's go ahead, rip straight into this Chihuahua. Pretty easy draft so far. We got 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers. Solver's recommending us Tucker Kraft. We are light at the tight end position as we do not have any allocated there. We have him 4 picks past ADP ahead in the ETR rankings. If we go ahead and sort by ADP, you can see that the score difference between Tucker Kraft and the next suggested player, Courtland Sutton, is quite drastic. So in these scenarios, I'm going to go ahead and click Q on the overlay and draft Tucker Kraft, set up a nice little Green Bay stack since we have Watson. German Shepherd, but super flex. Let's see what we got here. We got a 2-1-3-1 through 8 rounds. Mr. Jackson Dart, Bryce Young, Jahmyr Gibbs. Right here, again, pretty simple click right here. Not a lot to talk about. Devontae Adams is quite ahead in our rankings, and we do get a nice ADP value of 12 picks, man. What is going on here? We got all right. That's I got nothing to discuss there besides that's a fumble on the people drafting right before me. Heading into a pitbull, we got a little bit higher stakes here. As the summer moves along and I'm more comfortable entering the higher stakes contest, we'll be getting some big dogs in here, some mastiffs where you get a little bit more skin in the game with those $1,000, $500 drafts. I know right now I'm pretty much just playing for volume. So yeah, let's see. Is Harvey the Joker, man? If I could know one thing about this season, probably be like, is Sean Payton wanting to feature in that Joker role this year? I know we have had reports in the past where it's been Evan Ingram. Obviously, that was complete bullshit. Could it be Jalen Waddle this year? They gave up a fair amount of draft capital for him, a first-round pick, and a few other day 2 picks. And for those of you unfamiliar, the Joker role is this covenant role in Sean Payton offenses where he likes to build the offense around his particular player, give him a lot of scheme touches. So in my head, I think it's Waddle, who's someone I think is quite underpriced. We will talk about him a little bit more in these slow puppies that I answered last time, where we're actually going to be able to take him. So right here, we're in a pit bull, a little bit further along the draft, so we could not take Mr. Waddle, but we got a 2-3 through 6 rounds. Solver's recommending DK Metcalf. We are a little weaker at the wide receiver position. If you go ahead and open up the draft capital allocation, you will see our first 3 picks invested in the running back, so we're pretty solid there. And then George Pickens, our first wide receiver. So it does want us to take DK Metcalf a little bit ahead of ADP. Other options, if we want to stay in line with the Marcus Mackay, Lemon, QJ. 2 picks right now that I'm pretty comfortable are some of the worst picks in the middle rounds right now. Our second option is Dak Prescott. If we go ahead and boost that, it tells us to take Dak. It's still a little bit early for him, and we can get him on the turn most likely since there's no Cowboys drafters in between us. So we'll go ahead and take DK Metcalf, and then probably on stream get Dak Prescott very next. Some more comments in the chat here. Evan Ingram was the Joker, lighting money on the fire role last year. Yeah, that is the perfect role for Evan Ingram, the guy who's allergic to touchdowns, allergic to catching these 5-yard out routes. Yeah, I have not taken any Evan Ingram on Underdog this year. I will sprinkle him in on DraftKings just because he does have I guess you can argue he has a reception ceiling, and the fact that, I guess he can catch like 4 to 6 balls a game. But on the Underdog half PPR format, I'm pretty out on him for the time being. Again, as training camp comes out, as more news hits the Twitter feeds and we get a little bit more informed, if we get any positive reports on him, I might be a little bit more open. But given that weaponry in the entire Broncos offense is so crowded in the sense that, you traded for Jalen Waddle, you have Courtland Sutton, you invested a second-round draft pick in RJ Harvey, re-signed J.K. Dobbins. We know Sean Payton loves running a bunch of formations and a bunch of personnel. So it's kind of sticky year to year in the fact that, he's going to play Troy Franklin, he's going to play Pat Bryant, he's going to play Marvin Mims, he's going to play I'm blanking out on his 4th favorite receiver. He was on the Saints. If you can remember his name, help me out, chat. But yeah, let's go ahead and go into this Chihuahua pretty early in the draft as well. We got a 0-1, 3-1 through 6 rounds. Solver wants us to take Tony Pollard. We also have the option of taking Caleb Williams to stack up with our tight end, Colston Loveland. as you see over here, this might be a position where I would be willing to take Caleb Williams over Tony Pollard, not only because of the ADP differences, but also because my exposure to Tony Pollard is quite high. 22% at this point this point in the offseason isn't too high, but it's just something I'm keeping in the back of my mind. I don't have that much exposure to Caleb. And it's a really tough position with Caleb because he's being priced in at his ceiling. He's being priced in as if he's going to take a massive leap forward. He's going to have a lot more pass volume. It's just one of the tougher clicks on the board right now because we're all aware of the ceiling that he does have, but you're really going to have to pay for it this season. So methodology tells us Devon Vele, no, but you bringing him up actually reminded me of who it was. It is, oh my God, I'm completely blanking. Devon Vele is now on the Saints, and I'm thinking of, oh my God. Little Jordan Humphreys. Texan Longhorn, Little Jordan Humphreys. That's who I'm thinking of. Is he still on the Broncos? If so, we know he's going to get sprinkled in some personnel sets for absolutely no reason. But given our running back room, we're building a zero RB build right here. We have Tony Pollard ahead in the ranks. It makes the most sense to take Tony Pollard right here. So build up a little nice zero RB room. Good morning, Goats. My future guest in about 7 to 8 hours. We will be having Nez on stream. If you missed that earlier, GM Nez, thank you for tuning in, especially while Pete is streaming. Again, I fumbled streaming at the same time as him, but we learned from our mistakes. We're still trying to get these reps in. Okay, man, we're still a fucking rookie. But soon enough, I will be an all-pro starting streamer. We'll focus on Pro Bowl for now, but we're going to get to the all-pro level at some point in our careers, hopefully by next week. So you guys actually enjoyed listening to me yap about slow draft heaven. So Nico Collins, oh my God, someone who I absolutely love this year, someone who I'm willing to put my entire portfolio over it. As we get more through these slow puppies, you'll see that this is someone I'm comfortable reaching for into the early second round. I kind of feel that the mid to late second round is kind of a flat tier. So if there's a player that you really like on a personal basis, you can go ahead and IKB those rankings, push that player ahead of ADP. And for me, that's Nico Collins this year. If you go and check out Matt Harmon's Twitter, he has a great tweet explaining how he has been an elite player year after year, but he hasn't really hit that parlay where he's had everything in the offense go to plan. And to me, he's kind of like JSN before last year, where we know this player is incredibly talented. We know he's good at against man coverage, against press. We know he is fantastic at zone. It's just waiting for the right situation for all of it to come together. So for JSN last year, he got upgraded quarterback play. He got upgraded play calling. He had a team environment that was just a lot more efficient and much more powerful in the red zone. So while the volume wasn't necessarily there, the efficiency and the output was. So Nico Collins, while he does have some more target competition compared to JSN did last year, he's someone that I believe can kind of take that next step forward. You're kind of betting back on CJ Stroud. Just not being a total dud is kind of what you're hoping for at this point. I think their offensive line will be quite telling to seeing how exactly or how efficient this offense can be. And then I believe in just a couple days, Brendan Thorne from ETR will be releasing his offensive line rankings. So we can get a better gauge on how well the Texans are going to play from that standpoint. But yeah, this guy's an elite player from a first down basis. Yards per route run, targets per route run. He's a massive red zone target. It's just, he's got to hit the 3-4 leg parlay to finally make it happen. But enough yapping about Nico Collins. We're going to go ahead and take Chris Olave, get the week 17 correlation, fill out a wide receiver 2 position, and move on to the next slow puppy. Ashton Jeanty, Nico Collins. So perfect example of what I'm talking about. I love him. I'm willing to bring him up, 8 spots ahead of ADP because I believe he's going to be the guy you're going to want to have this year. The only downside, one of the, bear cases is, obviously they have a bad offensive environment because their O-line's back. CJ Stroud struggles again. They have a somewhat tough week 17 matchup against the Green Bay Packers. That's a defense that we've seen that was pretty good last season, especially before Micah Parsons got injured. So just something to, when you're so overexposed to a player, you always want to keep, You want to have both sides of the coins in your head. You want to have both the angel and the devil on your shoulder. You want to have, all right, I got the bull case right here, but I also need to be aware of how this can go to shit. And I will admit, Nico Collins does have a lot of outs where he could just be a really bad pick, or not really bad pick. I think his floor is fairly reasonable, but just not that league-winning pick. I'm taking him as at pick 14. And also health. He needs to just stay healthy for a full 17-game season. That's something he struggled with in the past. Those soft tissue injuries. Again, I try not to look into that too much, kind of just let the variance play out and hope that he runs healthy for a full season. But yeah, as you see right now, we have no Ashton Genty, Nico Collins combo, so no have to worry about an exposure there. We're getting Igbokwe in the solver here, so go ahead and take him. And 10 score, quite easy to pick. One of Evan Silva's favorite players for this year. I'm sure he will dive more into that tomorrow on our stream at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Should be a good time. Excited to hear his thoughts on all his IKBs against the machines, Leone, Mark, Jack, and whatnot. Nico's bear case to me is injuries. Yeah, like I said, has he played a full 17-game season in his career? I'm not too certain. Let me go ahead and look that up real quick. But yeah, I'm not gonna act like I know exactly, like I'm some fucking doctor and I think I can predict injuries. I'm just gonna, when I'm drafting, for the most part, unless it's a complete outlier, I'm just gonna assume that the player stays healthy. So yeah, Nico Collins, 5 seasons. The max amount of games he's played is 15, and the lowest is 10 back in 2022 and 12 in 2024. So that is something risky. He did cap out at his maximum amount of targets throughout his career at 120 last year, but was just a little bit more not as efficient as he normally is, just because of that quarterback play, because of that horrible offensive line play. But another bull case you can say for Nico is that they invested nothing crazy amount, but they got David Montgomery. Maybe he is so much more talented than Woody Marks that having him open up the run game helps the offensive line, helps CJ Stroud a bunch. So there's little levers you can pull there to kind of argue that the Texans are going to have a big bounce back. Next draft, another slow puppy. We got Big Dog and Puka Nacua have the Big Dog falling 3 spots past ADP is always nice. Going to go ahead and rip Chris Olave right here. One thing I did want to mention is if you're an ETR subscriber, if you're using the solver, I assume you're an ETR subscriber. Our Kyren Williams ranking is incredibly bullish, and same with Corum. We have Corum. Corum not as bad. We have Corum 7 spots ahead of ADP. Only 3 spots, but still 28th overall. And this is a case that it's just incredibly difficult to make the projection, put him any lower than his current ranking is. I know a lot of the people on the team kind of want to IKB and be like, this is the year that the split goes more towards 50-50 between Kyren and Corum. This is a year that, Kyren might finally get injured after, 4 years of just getting the rock, 3 years of getting the rock. 250 touches in 3 straight seasons. Could he finally get injured? And then 300 touches the last 2 seasons. So, he's a player that is going to be on the field a lot. He's their preferred pass catcher. But let me see if I can go in and pull up this beautiful, beautiful graphic that my boy Nez just sent to me. If you go ahead and look at their workload usage between Kyren and Blake Corum this year, you would see through week 7, Kyren looked like he was really going to pay off that ADP, having over 70% of the snaps. And then the final 13 games, this is including the playoffs. Let me see. Hold on. I'm talking about this chart right here that I'm not even sure you guys are seeing. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. You guys aren't even seeing this. Let me see if I can add this somewhere. Give me just a second. We're going to Tech Lord here for a second. Let me see. Okay, you know what? Your boy is a little too stream stupid right now to figure out how to do this on the fly. But again, we're getting reps in. But anyways, what I'm trying to explain is I'll just, I will give you the visualization I'm talking about. I'm looking at a chart here that's showing the workload differences between Kyren Williams and Blake Corum through 7 weeks. Kyren Williams, 70-something% of snaps, 75% of snaps, or not snaps, backfield touches. And in the final 13 games of the season, including the playoffs, we have that split going to 60-40-ish. So if you think that there's any chance that Blake Corum makes the backfield 50-50 or even 55-45 in favor of Kyron, uh, that's a little IKB you can put in your head and be like, all right, I'm gonna, dock Kyron the ranks just a little bit and up Corum just a little bit. So we're not gonna take him right there, even though Solver did want us or suggested it to us, going on to the next G. Wow. Get that nice Hispanic accent in here. Let's go pretty easy here. Don't want to overthink this. I would love to get some more exposure to Justin Herbert. We get him falling 4 picks past ADP. We don't have any quarterbacks at this point. Go in and click him. Pretty easy there. And now we get another option right here. Likely Courtland Sutton is probably who we're to go with. We have a pretty strong running back room in both James Cook and the big dog Derrick Henry, and a little weak at wide receiver. If we really wanted to take a quarterback here, we can boost up. Yes, even boosting up the quarterback rankings. The Solver still wants us to take Courtland Sutton. Even if we dock even if we do like the manual adjustments, even if we do the dockings, Courtland Sutton's still the number 1 in our queue, which makes sense. We don't have a lot of draft capital allocation to the wide receiver position. We're trying to fill in this rectangular box. We're trying to fill in this box throughout every draft to have a nice balanced team. So going and take Sutton, someone I think is actually a little bit underrated this year. Historically, I've been a Bo Nix hater, but given his the addition of Jalen Waddle and just how good their offensive line is and his rushing upside, he's someone that to me is just a little bit underpriced and someone that I would love to have on this team. At the next turn, we'll probably be hitting, one of Baker Mayfield or Tyler Shuck or Bo Nix at that next turn. So a lot of quarterback options. The nice part about this draft, this part of the draft right here is the pocket you're in. There's a lot of stackable quarterbacks. So if you need a wide receiver, you got Godwin, you got Addison, you got Sutton, who I just took, you got Xavier Worthy, all guys that you can stack in the following round or following few rounds. So nice to have that flexibility there. We know stacking is advantageous to your teams, to hitting that nut ceiling that you need to win these type of tournaments. Over here, we have a 2-5-7-3 through 17 rounds. Our last pick, the Solver wants us to take Justice Hill. If you go ahead and look at our draft capital allocation, we're pretty good at running back. And having Justice Hill on a team with Derrick Henry is not something I love. I know they have completely different roles, and having Lamar, he has that pass catching ability where he can hit a ceiling on a given week if Lamar throws him a touchdown pass. But he's someone I'm a little bit skeptical about retaining that role. Adam Randall, who they drafted out of Clemson. There is a new regime here in Baltimore, so or at least a new offensive coordinator. So I'm just a little scared that Justice Hill is getting a little bit older, that he might not retain the role he's had in the past. And that Adam Randall, who's a pass catcher specialist, was a wide receiver his first 2 years in college, might take that role. So for now, I'm holding off on Justice Hill. If we get good camp reports that Justice Hill is still the third down back, still the pass catcher, that's someone I'm going to be a lot more open to. But for now, I'm really want to avoid that 0. And instead, I'm going to go ahead and take the Week 17 correlation with Andre Yoshivas, get that with that Week 17 Bengals Ravens stack. Looking this far ahead out, I would not be shocked that that's the highest total on that slate. Obviously, those lines are out right now. I don't have that in front of me. But, yeah, go ahead and take the Week 17 correlation, help fill out our wide receiver room. That's the weakest part of this draft, of this team. So, yeah, finish that draft right there. On to the next slide. Did we reach on Nico Collins in this one? No, we did not. And that's a little Justin Jefferson value there. You could get the wide receiver 1 at pick 11 this year. Isn't that fucking crazy? Yeah, so Solver wants to take us Kyron. He's fallen 4 picks past ADP. So, in this situation, I'm a little bit more open to it. And on another little IKB you can put in your head that it's very hard to account for. Our projections, it has everything accounted for, like Vegas totals, Vegas lines. But in this scenario where you think this Rams defense is absolutely historic, even better than the Seattle defense last year, they added the addition of obviously Myles Garrett and the Chiefs cornerback that I'm completely blanking on, who's also really cracked out. Chad, if you can help me out and reminding me his name, he just got paid the bag. I don't know why I'm blanking so hard on stream right now. But if you think they take that next step forward and they are such a historic defense that the Offense is one, has to pass a lot less just because they're so dominant. They're up by a few scores every game. And you have more volume concerns from a passing perspective. You can like give little IKB bumps, like, okay, Rams have a historical defense. They'll be running a bunch more. In those scenarios, even having Kyron and Blake Corum on the same team, I think is not the worst idea. So, given the ADP values, a little actually. I was going to take Kyron, but since my boy Matt Mythology's in the chat, I'm going to take Josh Allen. That's one of his guys this year. He's made a great, compelling case for him that, guys, this is a guy we're taking a 2-3 turn last year. Elite quarterback in general, the price has been incredibly suppressed while the QB2/pocket passer quarterbacks have gone up in price. So, while the solver did not necessarily recommend us Josh Allen and the ranking's not quite there, I'm going to IKB it, take Josh Allen. I want to have a good amount of him this year. It's just way too cheap for the type of quarterback he is. He adds DJ Moore, and whether your opinion on DJ Moore is he's washed, I think it's still a good addition to the team. Helps Josh Allen quite a bit. So a nice yak threat, give him a little bit more yards after the catch. You could try pushing him to fourth. Yeah. So another thing I saw is this guy already has two running backs, and he might be inclined to take two wide receivers here. He might not wanting to go 3 running backs to start. Can feel a little uncomfortable at times. So love seeing Ty Johnson pretty high on that suggested list. Yeah. Someone we're pretty confident will just retain that pass catching role. There have been some reports that James Cook is looking to be a little bit more involved in the pass game this year. And that's the case. That can hurt Ty Johnson a little bit. Again, as camp reports are coming out, as training camp begins, that's someone I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit more. On to the next puppy. We got Malik Neighbors, our recommended option. We get him 5 picks past ADP. This is a time box contest, but it's still pretty early. If I go ahead and look at how full this does matter in terms of strategy to me sometimes. Look at that beautiful FIFA slate. I can't wait to grind that tomorrow. But if you go ahead and look, we're about 20% full, 60% full in the slow puppy. So more bearish news on Malik Neighbors can come out between now and when contest is full. And then you also have to account for the 2 to 3 weeks that the slow draft actually takes to complete. So I believe that people in this contest will be getting Malik Neighbors at a more advantageous price. So I'm going to go ahead and IKB off that from the solver and go to Scary Terry, who's our next recommended option. Do not want to be taking Malik Neighbors right now in this time box contest. It may be something like the Chihuahua. Actually, no, not even that. Yeah, I take back everything I said. For right now, maybe if they maybe for the contest they released the other day, or maybe it was this morning they released the Pitbull, I believe, $12 entry, $40K to first, and something like that. I'd be a little bit more willing to take shots on Malik Neighbors if he falls, just given that everyone in that contest is going to have a similar price to him. Next one, pretty easy. Garrett Wilson is a whole full point ahead of Ted McMillan. Makes sense. We don't have any wide receiver firepower besides Ladd McConkey, and Ted's a little bit more buried in our rankings. So go ahead and take him there. Pretty easy click on the board for us right there. It's another slow puppy. Did we take Nico out of ADP? We did not, but we do get the opportunity to take him right now. You know what? This is a solo stream. A whole 1.6 points ahead of George Pickens. We're to stick to the solver recommendations. That's the good thing about the solver. It keeps you in your guardrails. Because if not, I probably have 40% Nico Collins, and that might not be the smartest strategy if you have 2,000, 3,000 teams. If that's your guy and you're only ripping like 100 drafts, a little bit more reasonable to me to take that stand. But for me, stay in the guardrails. I have plenty of Nico Collins, as you will see in these following puppy drafts. Let's see a little bit more comments here. And yes, Cook. So the Cook Allen pairing is nice if you're playing Bills. Go, yeah, man. People are overthinking the Bills this year. People are overthinking Josh Allen, and you can even argue that hey, they lost Sean McDermott, who has historically been a great defensive-minded coach, and they don't have him anymore. And Sean McDermott was kind of a type of coach that was doing a lot more than the talent he had. Their defense is pretty old. They're not re-signing Joey Bosa. So if you tell yourself a scenario, you have an offensive-minded head coach who has been there in the past few years, but he has controlled the reins now. Their defense is going to regress because they don't have Sean McDermott. They play in a not tough division, but a good division for fantasy football. You're expecting the Dolphins not to be very good. You're expecting the Jets defense to be complete ass. They traded away everyone last year. And then you have the Pats, who can have a very strong team offensively that might lead to some shootouts. So if you put that together, they have an offensive minded head coach. They're in a division that's pretty good for fantasy, and their defense might regress quite a bit. Josh Allen's going to cook, man. I don't understand his price. It's cheaper than it was last year. Quarterbacks are more expensive than they ever have before. It's just someone that I don't really understand. The only drawback to the Josh Allen bull case is there are other great quarterback options around that 5, 6, 7 turn where you can get Lamar Jackson at 55. You can get Jaden Daniels in the late 60s, Drake May, Jalen Hurts. All these quarterbacks are also really good given their price. These are just guys I want to target over the pocket passers that are in the 80s, 90s, 100s. These QB2s that have been pushed up that haven't been historically. Just think about last year where we were getting Trevor Lawrence, where we were getting Justin Herbert. We were getting them around pick 120, a pick 130. And now we have to pay a 2, 3, 4 round premium on those guys for really no reason. While at the same time, we have to get a discount on Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, on these historically amazing fantasy quarterbacks. So to me, the meta for this year is pretty simple. You might load up on running backs early. You might load up on wide receivers early. Regardless of the fact, the elite quarterback options, at least one of them, is a must-me in every single draft. A little bit more comments here. So that guy on the turn may have taken Allen from Dave. Yeah, he did have James Cook. Another good point. So just something to keep in mind when you are at the turn, you can go and look at your opponents, what they're up to. So take James Cook from it, or take Josh Allen from it. Don't let him get that stack, and then maybe we get Kyron fall to us. So we get the best of both worlds. We have our last pick in this puppy two here. Pretty easy. We have Chris Brazil to stack. If we look at our draft capital allocation, pretty balanced, pretty good team. Stayed in our lanes. We have the option between Chris Brazil and Samaje Perine. We're quite bullish on Perine right now, and he is getting boosted quite a bit from not only the ranking, but the week 17 correlation that we have with the Ravens. One of those guys that I'm going to wait for camp just to see if Taj Brooks gets any more work. We do have another year, Samaje Perine, more than likely to stay in that third down passing role. But if Chase Brown were ever to go down, he's not someone that I'm like, yeah, this guy's going to get 20-something touches a game and be a league winner. And given our running back room, I'm pretty okay passing on him. And instead, I'm going to go on a nice ambiguous rookie here in Chris Brazil. Go ahead and click him from the overlay. Again, if you don't even want to click anything on the underdog site itself, you could so easily pull up this overlay. You can queue up players by your ADP, by the rank, by the score. It's quite an amazing feature. So yeah, go ahead and click that. And I will give you a little bit of solver alpha, a little sneak peek. I do believe, and corporate, don't kill me if I'm wrong on this, I do believe we're getting to the point where we'll be able to draft straight from this widget. So you might be able to go through all your slow drafts and just use this interface right here to complete all your drafts, which will be quite nice. That's my understanding. If I'm wrong on that, don't sue me. Don't get mad at me. That's my understanding. But yeah, a nice little feature you may be able to look forward to here in a couple of weeks. Next up, another slow puppy, no reach on Nico Collins. Shockingly, we got the options between Rashee Rice, Chris Olave. A problem I'm having with this 2-3 turn is you get the luxury of picking Jahmyr Gibbs. You get the luxury of picking Bijan Robinson. But the 2-3 turns is so stagnant and stale to me. I feel like I'm clicking the same players over and over again, whether it's Rashee Rice or Chris Olave, Brock Bowers if he falls a little bit. And this tier is pretty flat for me. All these guys have a fair amount of risk. You have Chris Olave with the concussions. We have Rashee Rice. I can't even say what the risk for him is. He could, kill someone tomorrow for all I know. Suspension risk outside of him being even more trouble. Breece Hall, you have him being on the Jets. So this tier is fairly flat to me. If you have a big urge on Igbukah or Ladd or, T. Higgins, I'm perfectly okay bringing them up, which is something we're going to do right now. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to fuck it. Let's just bring up Igbukah because why not? Get a little bit unique. I have so many starts where I have Bijan, Bowers, and then either Rice or Devonta. So we're going to switch it up a little bit, have a little bit of fun, completely ignore the solver tool. Sorry, corporate. It won't happen all the time. We got Matt over here trying to pull up Josh Allen. You know, the next puppet we get to where that's an option, I will be doing that. Where you can get the RB one, the tight end one, the quarterback one, all in one team. It's a lock to advance, baby. Why not do that? And it's where he was going last year, anyways. Might as well. That would be sick. I think this is referring to the feature that we may or may not be implementing, where you can just draft straight from the widget. You could queue right now. Being able to draft will just make it, one step further into fully integrating with the machines. And if you don't like that, get your hands in the dirt, just click straight from the underdog side. So right here we got Scary Terry, our most recommended. Some week 17 correlation with Green Bay / Nico Collins / the Texans. If we really want to take a running back here, we could take Josh Jacobs, but we're going to go ahead and listen to the machine, take Scary Terry, high in our ranks. Drafting him here, I think will put us in the position where we can get Jaden Daniels pretty easily. Yeah, 56 at 65, his ADP 66. Perfect sweet spot to take Jaden Daniels there. One of my favorite stacks this year. And as you can see, Scary Terry, his ADP was about 50. He was like 4-5 turn a few weeks ago, like when the contest was still fairly new. But you see that slow shift up, both because probably established the run rankings and because the pairings so popular together. Kind of like an artificial rise for Scary Terry. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit our next one. Let's see how many we got remaining. We still got, damn man, 64. So I started at 67. Obviously, I'm yapping a lot, and I'm getting on the clock and even more slows. So that's only to get higher and higher. Am I going to do all 64 right now? Nah, I'll probably just go until the next marathon that shows up, which is all right. We might be here for a minute. I said I was going to only be here for a little bit, given that I have overset streaming. I'm going to be streaming again later tonight. It's like, we might take a chill draft, might take it a little easy, but I'm bobbing right now. I'm having a good time just talking to myself, talking to the camera. So we'll continue here. Next up, we're gonna do a little speed run section here. So if you are if you need some time, if you are in a rush, you can obviously speed run through this. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna this next few drafts. I'm not gonna talk to any of these. I'm just gonna do what the bot tells me to do. Denzel Washington, goddamn. I'm in my cinephile mood right now. Watched a kind of an ass movie last night, Rebel Ridge, where it's kind of like a former Marine uncovers like some unlawful behavior from the cops in a small town in Alabama. Was kind of decent at the beginning and kind of good at the end. Just the middle, I was just like, God, get me through this fucking movie. It had a lot of potential. The first 20, 30 minutes is like, damn, we're cooking with some gas here. In the last 30 minutes, I'm like, shit, this is really good. But the meat of the sandwich was just so ass. I can't even recommend it to you. But it's on Netflix if you are interested. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck I said Denzel Washington. Denzel Boston is someone I'm pretty interested in this year. Both the Browns rookie wide receivers, KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston. We have some bullish reports on Boston might actually be the rookie wide receiver you want to own for Cleveland. But it's more so just the opportunity so good. It's a bet on Todd Monken. Obviously, the quarterback situation is not great. The offensive environment's not great. But yeah, given his price, a second round rookie, we kind of have this archetype that has quite a big ceiling in real life, where it's like the X receiver, that press man beater that can get isolated one-on-one with the number one cornerbacks on the opposing team. And this archetype comes every few years, or it comes every year, particularly in the second round, but only a few years do you have that massive hit. The last one I can think of off the top of my head is T. Higgins in 2020. He was stumbling across my words here. I'm so excited to talk about Denzel Boston. Goddamn. T. Higgins also went early round 2 a few years ago. That prototypical X receiver. I kind of think Denzel Boston's going to be that next iteration of it. Again, this could look poorly. He can just be another Keon Coleman that's been a complete failure. But yeah, that type of archetype is just someone I do like to take some chances on, and given his price again. All right, we have the opportunity to take the QB1 this year at pick 26. We're going to go and do that for my boy Matt and for my own well-being, because Josh Allen's who you need this year. I swear I'm not Leone. I'm not Liam Murphy. I'm just a guy who wants to win some money, and the best way to do that is to take Josh Allen this year. Price is way too suppressed, even if you want to take him at the 2-3 turn. Next draft, we have a naked Sam Darnold that never feels good. Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers stack. Solver's recommending the fire move to us. Kind of makes sense. We don't know if George Kittle's going to be on PUP or how many games he's going to miss, or if he's even going to be efficient off his injury. So we're going to go ahead and the ranking. See, the problem, not the problem, it's just something you need to be aware of with the Solver, is that if the established run rankings team, projections team have a very bullish position on someone, especially this late in the draft, it's going to auto recommend him every time. So if you think Pat Freiermuth is way over projected, you think he might even be a slightly good value, but he might be ranked 109 get the 100 instead of 167th. You can kind of IKB off that. I'm going to go ahead and IKB off that and take Torrey Horton and get some undrafted leverage, stack up Sam Darnold. If you are subscribed to his reception perception, Matt Harmon's quite bullish on him. He was a prospect I was pretty happy about when he was coming out of college. Torrey Horton is an easy click for me at the end of the drafts, given the leverage you get and the perceived talent. Any insight on the Cleveland quarterback situation? Yeah, I mean, I probably have as much insight as you do or anyone else in the chat, but my understanding is Deshaun Watson is healthy. But this team, they're executing the tank in such a beautiful manner that I think we're going to see Shedeur the entire season. I take that back. Not the entire season. We will get some Watson starts, but when it's week 17, when it's the last half of the season, we will be seeing the Shedeur. He probably gives them the best chance to win. And they can ethically tank that way. I think Deshaun Watson's just so far gone that you just can't start him. It's just like he hasn't played good football in over 5 years, and now he's coming off a horrible Achilles tear. Yeah, man, really hard to justify. It's going to be Shedeur here, perfect timing. So going on to the next draft. Okay, I said I was going to fucking speed run through some of these. I lied straight to your face. We're going to fix that up right here. We're going to speed run starting now. Goes Davante Adams. Get the nice correlation with Puka Nacua without Matt Stafford. Alec Pierce is next. I'm IKB off that because I think he is pretty injured, and we might get a better price with him later on when we get a little bit more news in training camp. Harold Fannin up next, a whole 1 point ahead of Kyle Pitts. Easy pick. Slow puppy next. Can we take Josh Allen's team? No, we cannot, but we can take Colston Loveland and correlate with Luther Burden. Fuck yeah. Slow puppy. What are we doing here? We're taking Josh Allen. Why? Because this might be a brand play. And we are ignoring the Solver. Next up, we got Zay Flowers. Easy. Stacking with Derrick Henry. Boom. Give me Lamar Jackson. We got a new comment in chat. I'm going to address that. There's always so much talk through. Insight is so good. Thank you, Chad. I am trying to be better because, this chat, the people in this chat are probably sharper than me, all things considered. But I'm getting there. I'm get the reps in. We're trying to be an all-pro streamer at some point. But yeah, I'm just need to do a better job of articulating my thoughts, explaining my player takes, and we're getting there, man. But I appreciate the comment. It's very kind of you. I always appreciate your support, man. One of my best friends in this wonderful space that we call the fantasy football community. DK Metcalf, welcome to the team. Slow puppy. See, this is the beautiful thing about the Solver. I don't even have to think if I'm rolling out of bed, if I am hung as shit and I slept for 12 hours and I'm about to time out on the clock after a night out, I can just hop on here, boom, instant click some of these players. So easy. Don't even have to think about it. You can see me doing it right now. I'm not even thinking about it. And I know what some of you guys might be thinking, like, yeah, okay, he's letting the fucking computer do all the work. He has no hands in the dirt. I get that. Okay, man. But I'm trying not to keep you here for 2 hours for the 7 beautiful souls watching. I appreciate you coming, but I'm not trying to waste your time either on a Monday morning. You guys are probably working, trying to make that bread for your family. I'm trying to be efficient too. But yeah, let's just fucking rip through these a little bit faster. I will get back to the insights here in a second, but I just want to get a little bit more progress here, just so I'm not stuck with y'all for such a long time. Even though I am having a good time, I'm just I'm considerate of your time. Tank Bigsby there. Another B-Rob share might be coming in. Pretty balanced team. Easy enough. We got the stack there. Probably go naked Danny Dimes for this team. B-Rob. You'll be a league winner if Bijan somehow gets hurt. Boom. Next team. Michael Wilson or Michael Pittman. Fuck, the score is so drastic. I might just have to go Michael Wilson. Boom. Next one. German Shepherd. Bring it on. I want a German Shepherd. Man. When I finally settle down and get a dog of my own, I'll get a German Shepherd and name it whatever the fuck the name was in I Am Legend. I Am Legend dog name. What was his name? Sam. That's right, Sam. I'm sure that is probably the most common German Shepherd name, but we digress. Boom. Josh Allen. Look at him. Naked or not naked. It doesn't fucking matter. You can still take him. And then we will pair him up with okay, so I kind of want to take Travis Etienne here, just give it some ADP value. But we're not fucking we ball. We're not gonna let the solver dictate every single move I make. We're gonna put some hands in the dirt and have some say in this. As I speed run through this, Garrett Wilson, easy click. Next one, slow puppy, bring it on. 500 slow drafts at once. It's nothing compared to me. I got the fucking solver, baby. 4 of you watching right now, I appreciate you for tuning in. Same guys that have been with me for all stream. Matt, Chad, thank you. Maybe Ness is still in here. There's a third mystery viewer that I'm not aware of. Whoever you are, thank you. Say something, man. Come on. I want to meet you. I want to thank you for tuning in. God, this is such an ugly spot. So we are in a position where the solver wants to take Malik Neighbors or Cam Scoutaboo, 2 guys that I do think we'll be able to get for cheaper later. Maybe not Scoutaboo, but most definitely God damn it, never mind. Just had a little notification I had to read real quick. 2 guys I think we'll be able to get for cheaper later. So I'm gonna IKB here. Go Scary Terry. I don't think we're gonna get cheaper Scoutaboo, but he's just someone I'm very wary of. I'd rather take the bet at Tyrone Tracy at cost. I'm just really skeptical about this offense for the Giants. You have Matt Nagy, new regime, offensive line is pretty cheeks to my understanding. Again, Brandon Thorne's coming out with his O-line rankings in a few days. Make sure to check that out if you're subscribed to Establish the Run. Get a better understanding there by the O-line guru of how bad the Giants offensive line is. But just a combination of coming off of injury. We saw Tony Pollard go through, I believe, the same injury, fibula fracture that took him, almost an entire year to really get back into form. It wasn't until like week 13, 14, that following year after the fibula fracture that he didn't even look remotely like himself. So just someone I'm skeptical on. God, I can't speak English right now because I'm just fucking talking so fast right now. We're in speed run mode. Chihuahua, Beverly Hills, Chihuahua. Kenny Gainwell, not someone I have a lot of, 7 picks past ADP, half a round past ADP. We're just going and take him, just not thinking about him. Maybe we can get Baker Mayfield at the next pick. No, we cannot because someone already fucking took him. Goddamn. Okay, Tyler Shuck, next quarterback for that draft. Slow puppy. God, I took 18 on this team. That does not feel good, but we will listen to the solver and take T. Higgins because that's who I would take anyways. Next puppy, boom. Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, Bijan Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson. I don't know why I'm listing off every single player on this team, but we do have a 4 tight end build, which is a little controversial. Some people do not like doing that. They think why allocate so much draft capital to a position that scores the least amount of fantasy points? And my answer to you is, 1, they project better. All right, no one wants to fucking hear that. 2, for me, it's really the real reason is that we do not have enough information on depth charts, on RB2s, on wide receivers 3 and 4s. But the tight ends, the depth charts are a little bit more settled there. So that's a position I'm okay taking some more stabs of right now. And when we get more clarity on if it's DJ Giddens or Seth McGowan at RB2 for the Colts, that's a player I'll take over my tight end 4, given that situation. So this is more just like an information thing. It's more about importing zeros. If you have read Mike Leone's Best Fall Manifesto over on the Establish the Run channel, taking zeros is one of the most disadvantageous things you can do for not only advance rate, but your expected value in the finals or in the entire tournament. So avoiding that at this point of the offseason is kind of like a soft or lost skill that I think a lot of people overlook because they're kind of like just trying to take a home run, trying to get some ADP value by, a couple rounds. But at this point in the draft, the ADP value is not that drastic. Or the jump, say going from round 18 to round 16, not that big of a deal. But avoiding zeros is one of the reasons why I'm taking 4 tight ends. At this point in time, that will change here in a few weeks. Got to go pick up the key. Looking forward to the next stream later. Thank you for tuning in, Chad. I appreciate your love as always. let Duncan know I send my regards and hello to him. If you are picking him up, I know you got a lot of kids. I know you're busy in the bedroom. If you are picking up Duncan, if not, then still give my regards to your children. But Slow Puppy coming up next. We are on stream for about 49 minutes right now. Not bad, not bad for a 2 stream in one day, 2 for one day. Again, if you are just tuning in, we have Nez joining us tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. I should really fucking know this timing, given that I tweeted it out yesterday. We have, yes, Nez at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, it should be me and my boy chopping it up. It's gonna be pretty good. BBM, we're doing $2 million, and then go spend it all on strippers here in Frisco, Texas. Not actually. We probably go to Dallas for that. But anyways, Ladd McConkey ahead of our rankings. We're going to go ahead and take him. Not someone I feel particularly great about, but I do feel great about Justin Herbert and the rest of the Chargers offense. So if that's my way of getting exposure to the J Herb, I'm perfectly okay with that. So let's go ahead and next draft. Josh Jacobs here. Someone to me who's just really mispriced. I do not believe he's going to get suspended. And he's a guy we were taking at a 2-3 term. We were taking him on, almost 20 picks before this little incident with him happened. So if you believe he's not getting suspended, you should have 20% of him. If you do think he gets suspended, fair game. There is definitely some risk there, but given the profile that he has, given the goal line role he has, the workload he has, getting him at the 4.5 or 4.5 at pick 41, auto click for me. Even if he's a little bit more washed, even if he's not as efficient as he once was because he's just a little bit older, has some more tread on his tires, I still think he can pay off his ADP pretty handily given his price tag. T. Higgins here, pretty easy for me. Someone who has historically been really, really underpriced. I believe there was 1 year he was going at the 2-3 turn, and then every other year besides that, he's either goes in round 5, goes around late round 3, round 4. I don't know if it's because people are afraid that Ja'Marr Chase takes too much of a target share, or they perceive that he's really injury prone, which you might be able to argue, but just someone who I think is really underpriced, and I want someone I'm going to have a lot of exposure to. Right here, we get Josh Allen, 4 picks past ADP, and Garrett Wilson is the number 1 guy in our ranks. Given my Josh Allen love the stream, I'm going to stay on brand. Go, Mr. Naked Driver, Josh Allen. If you know, you know. If you don't know, look up his old tweets. They're pretty fucking funny. Look at this. We go George Pickens, and speaking of the naked driver, Josh Allen, we're going to fucking do that. Why? Because the solver told us not to, and we're going to disobey the machines. You got to do that from time to time. It's okay. 7 people watching right now. Holy fuck, guys. I don't know why you're tuning into my dumbass talking right now. I appreciate you coming. Maybe you're coming for some FIFA lore, some FIFA alpha that I have not yet given out yet. I do believe I will get to that at some point. How many more remaining we got? We have 42. I'll probably get down to like 25, speed run through a couple more of these, and then, rip a FIFA draft or two, tell you a little bit about my process, not too much. Just want to keep the edge there for the very last slate that Underdog will have. But it's been a great World Cup. If you're willing to put in the effort and grind these lineups and just, grind the projections a little bit, it's incredibly profitable and a massive edge. I'm on a little low streak, a little down streak right now, so maybe you don't want to take my advice, but the advice I am going to give you, the little alpha I am going to give you, is evergreen to all draft games, really. So we'll get to that here in a second. Javonte Williams, 6 picks past ADP. Sorry, I can't do math right now. Don't have to talk about that. It's super easy. Lamar Jackson gets recommended next. We will most likely get him at 53. Who do people take over Javonte Williams here? Burden, Waddle, Neighbors. Yeah, that just seems pretty bad to me, but what do I know? I'm a Donkey Cowboys fan. If he has the workload and he doesn't get hurt, if he has the workload that he had last year and doesn't get hurt, he's an absolute smash pick. About to end off this puppy too. We got a 3, 5, 6, 3 through 17 rounds. Pretty easy to me. Just take Jalen Noel. Excuse me, little burp for the microphone. I should have muted that, but I'm not an all-pro streamer yet, so I don't have those reflexes yet to mute myself. I don't even know how to fucking mute this mic. Again, we're learning. Next up, we got Luther Burden, 4 picks past ADP. Pretty easy here, but the solver does want us to take wide receiver right here. So even if we boosted running back up, Yeah, even if we boost the running back up, Luther Burden's by far the best pick on the board right now, according to the machine. So we will listen to the machines and give up our free will. Slow puppy up next. Here we go again. Let's go. 6 people watching. I lost a viewer. I'm sorry if I'm not entertaining enough for you. I will be better. Okay, man. I am trying. A little bit more energy coming out of me today. I'm a little bit more energetic compared to last stream. Last stream, I was running a fever. I had a flu game. Did I have the flu? No. But did I have a fever? Yes. But I still wanted to hop on stream anyways because I said I was going to. So I was kind of recovering over the weekend. That's why you saw no streams then. But yeah, we're feeling a lot better now. I don't know why I've been getting so sick lately. It's kind of odd. I usually don't ever get sick, but maybe I'm just washed. Maybe I'm just a washed player. We're not taking Malik Neighbors here. I mentioned why earlier. I thought he's not a great pick in this specific contest. A slow puppy that is still 20% full. It still has 80% to be fully full, and then you have the 3 weeks accounted for that you need to account for to actually complete the draft. So yeah, Malik Neighbors, not someone I am taking in the slow puppy. I will take my stabs in some other type of gated contest. Though my favorite stack of the year, besides Scary Terry, Jaden Daniels, was Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers. What if Zay Flowers just runs good in the end zone this year? What if he takes a step forward? What if he actually gets targeted in the red zone? These are all things that are not sticky year to year. These are things that have a lot of variance, whether a player scores 3 touchdowns or 9 touchdowns, makes or breaks their fantasy season. And I am someone that believes Zay Flower has enough talent to really break fantasy if he can run good in the touchdown department. And then given the Lamar stack and how cheap it is, it's just an auto click for me whenever I get that opportunity. Right now, we're getting the beautiful luxury of stacking the former MVP with one of my favorite players, Davante Adams. Pretty easy there. Click him. And here's one of the players I IKB quite a bit is Ricky Pearsall over all these wide receivers. Someone who I just really believe the talent. I believe he's a good route runner. I believe he's good against zone, man. Did the numbers back that up? I'm not too sure. I got to look at Harmon for that. But from the eye test, I believe he's a pretty good player. Again, I should probably give you a more convincing argument than my opinion. But we'll brush up on that information here in a little bit with whenever his reception perception comes out. But kind of something I was talking about last stream with Davante Adams is he's a guy that if he does what he did last year, he's going to pay off ADP. If he is in a situation where one of his teammates gets hurt, if a bunch of the tight ends get hurt, or Puka Nacua gets hurt, or Kyron Williams even gets hurt, his red zone usage will somehow get even higher, and his target share, if Puka's out, gets even higher. So it's one of those bets that can he pay off his price tag just as is? Yes. Can he pay off his price tag if players get hurt? He's an absolute smash. So just we're saying with Ricky Pearsall, we know Mike Evans is not a statue of health. We know CMC has injury problems. We know George Kittle's coming off Achilles. There is a world where Ricky Pearsall is easily the number one target in this offense, whether it's due to injury or just due to skill. He's a pretty good click this year. We have him a little buried in the rank, not buried, but we have him a little behind ADP. Something I will try to push towards the establishment on team. He's someone I want to be really ahead of. Other than Neighbors, any other landmines in the top 4 rounds? Great question, Matt. Let's go to the slow puppy right here so we can examine the board and see what other landmines I believe are there. We're going to go ahead and exit out of the solver screen right here. You know what? We're going to go full screen for this this segment of the show. So let's go ahead and pull up the draft board. Okay, top 4 rounds. What are the possible landmines? Devon Achane was the first name that came to my mind, but given his ADP drop of the last few weeks, I don't think he's a landmine anymore. I still think he's a little bit risky, but when he was going like around 15, 16, I know that's only 3 picks later than he's going right now, but that's quite a big difference given the draft capital of the early rounds. Early round landmines, obviously Neighbors. I don't think Tech can classify as one, but someone I do want to be wary of, just given, he gets more target competition this year with Chris Brazil, which, yeah, he's not, again, that's a round 1 or a first round draft pick, second-year leap, competing against, I believe, a third-round rookie and Chris Brazil. But just given the offensive environment, we know they want to run the ball. We know they have an offensive line that caters more to the run and to the pass. We know Bryce Young isn't going to have games where he's throwing for 40 attempts a game. There's just a lot of risk there where, Bryce Young can be bad. The Panthers can be bad. They can be really run heavy. Um, they just paid Jalen Coker a nice contract. He can take more load of the offense. So it's kind of just like not a landmine per se, just a lot of for me for Tet to hit. It's kind of a bigger parlay than some of the players around him. Any other landmines in this third round? I would say Trey McBride if he had the pre-draft ADP of him like the 20s, but given his price now at 30, it's such a nice click. Yeah, I really think those are the only two landmines. If you have some if you're a little bit worried about Rice, you can classify him. If you think he has any chance of getting suspended, I don't think he will. I know Silva, who's coming on the show tomorrow, does think he has some suspension risk. So, yeah, really just the two names I just mentioned. The only true landmine though is Neighbors, in my opinion. And we'll see if he does not end up bump up and we get some positive news. Pretty good pick, in my opinion. But I think we're gonna get more of the Bears side of that. So get to the Spoodle. Yeah, we're making some good progress on these drafts, but me yapping all the time is not helping out the speed of this stream. But hey, I'm having a good time. Hopefully the 3 people in here are having a good time. I appreciate hey, we were fluctuating viewers right now. So we go from 3 to 7 to 5. I don't know who I'm talking to or how many people I'm talking to. But if you're in the chat, say hello. I want to personally thank you. I want to follow you on Twitter and tell you thank you for engaging with me. Thank you for listening to my dumbass talk for now an hour almost. So don't be shy. Say something in the chat. I want to be your friend. Cam Ward, pretty easy here. We don't have a lot of draft capital at the quarterback position. We can stack him up with playmaker TP, Tony Pollard, a nice projection play. You can consider him a dead zone running back. But given his price, a back of Tony Pollard's profile would used to go in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round in fantasy drafts. The market's a lot sharper now. They know that projectable volume isn't something that can last throughout an entire season. So he's now going 6, 7 turn. And at that point, it's a bet I'm willing to make. Right here, we get recommended Garrett Wilson. Pretty easy bet right there. Go ahead and take him. Someone I'm quite bullish on. I think Geno Smith has a little bounce back here. Do I even want to justify this tank? That's like some famous last words someone can say. But yeah, okay. So Jeremiah Love, another. I am queasy on him as well. I wouldn't call him a landmine, but he's kind of like Tet, where you have to hit a pretty big parlay for him to justify the cost. I know he's going to have the 2-3 turn, and in your head you're like, okay, they spent a 3rd overall pick on him. They are very incentivized to give this guy the fucking rock. But a couple drawbacks here. One, they are projected to be the worst team in the entire NFL. They have the win total of 3.5, juiced to the under. Not expected to win a lot of games. Therefore, they're probably not expected to be very run heavy. They might have to pass out of necessity. Number 2, they have the fucking vulture over in Arizona in Tyler Algier. Bijan Robinson, who, by all accounts to me, is a far superior player and prospect than Jeremiah Love, was good enough to siphon a good amount of work off Bijan to the point where we're pretty annoyed by this. And now he's in Arizona. So if you pair the mix of low team total, projected to be pass happy, which might help him because he might be a great pass catcher. But generally, we want the teams to be good. We want the teams to be winning games because that means they're scoring touchdowns. And if they're scoring touchdowns, Jeremiah Love is probably a part of that process. But yeah, those two things are obviously pretty big. And there's third one that's kind of gone a little bit under the radar is that Jeremiah Love actually said he was excited to split touches with Tyler Algier. He was excited to have a back of that type of that caliber in the room with him, so he didn't have to garner the entire workload. And then you just look back in college. Was Jeremiah Love ever a workhorse? No. He's the type of guy that would get 12, 13, 14, 15 touches a game and make the most out of them. Obviously he was incredibly efficient with them. But for someone that doesn't necessarily profile as a workhorse back, I know he has the build, he has the size to be a workhorse back, but given the signings and the moves that the Cardinals have made, their team environment, the quarterback situation that we have no idea about really. We have Jacoby holding now. We have Carson Beck maybe in the fold. It's just a big parlay to ask for him to hit, and I get it. Normally, if he was in a good situation, he'd be going to a 2. He'd be going in the 1-2 turn. We get that. It's priced in. It's discounted in. But yeah, just someone I'm queasy on. I'm not going to have 0 of. I'm not going to have 12, 13% off. Probably just a nice exposure blanket of 7 to 8% is probably where I'm going to be at. After lunch and meeting, good shit day. Best of luck in the rest of the click. See you up top. Thank you, Mathology, my guy, my dog bowl brother. I had a great time devouring steaks with him at this dog bowl. An absolute bro and an even better human. So thank you for tuning in. Best of luck to you and your meeting. Go build some shit, right? So let's go ahead and continue here. We presented a bear case on Gerald Love. We presented a bear case on Ted McMillan. The bull case, they're really good fucking players, and they're just, they're good at football, and they just shove it down your throat. That's the bear or the bull case to me. So don't have to get too complicated there. Right now, we're getting recommended Alec Pierce, someone I'm not taking too much of right now. By ADP, we can go one of the quarterbacks here. If we go ahead and boost it, we do get that recommended. We can stack him with Javonte Williams, stack him with Jake Ferguson, Ryan Flournoy, and even Jalen Blue if you want to double pair that running back room together. But I'm going to go ahead and go Sutton here. Gives us the flexibility to get Bo Nix later, and just someone given his touchdown, his red zone role is just a little bit underpriced for half PPR underdog. Next up, we got one quarterback field with 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Pretty easy here. Just take Jalen Coker. We're fairly behind that wide receiver, but this will get us hopefully to the top of the bottom of that bucket, just about there. Good enough for me. So we have a well-balanced team. Now we can just take best available player from now on, and gives us another stack option here with Bryce Young, who I was just shitting on, but sometimes you just got to take him for the stack. You know what I mean? Next pick here, we got 4 viewers. Thank you for tuning in, you mystery motherfuckers that don't want to say your name in chat. I still love you, even though you don't want to be my friend. I respect it. It's okay. But yeah, let's go ahead. Next slow puppy here. We got. Yeah, okay, sorry. I was just reading something real quick. We got a 3-4 turn where we got Nico Collins pushed ahead of ADP. The situation, I'm going to go ahead and take Kyren Williams. Not a fairly common pairing with Nico Collins, and we get a few picks past ADP, kind of make up for the ADP value we lost by reaching for Nico. And then Josh Allen, pretty easy click right here whenever the solver recommends me to him. I don't have to talk more about him. Tune back to early in the stream if you want to hear my thoughts on Josh Allen and the elite quarterback landscape this year. I'm sure Nez and I will touch on it a lot more later tonight. Again, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tune in, Badge Bros channel. Tune in on this channel. It will be a collaboration. It's going to be beautiful. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will have Evan Silva, the big dog, on the fucking show, going over his player takes, his IKBs against the projection team over at Established Sharon. Going to be a great show. One of my best friends at ETR. Great guy to hang out with. It's going to be a good stream. It's going to be a great stream. If the dynamic is anything how it is in real life between me and Silva, it's going to be fucking awesome. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take Chris Olave here. We get a week 17 correlation with Atlanta. It's going to be a dome game, probably a really high total. 2 shitty teams facing each other with good offenses. Easy sell on me there. We are in the marathon. We're not gonna attack that right now quite yet. We're gonna do that in the future when we start supporting it. If we ever do, sorry, Chad. If you want that implemented, if it was up to me, I would have implemented yesterday. But I don't know how to code. So, anyways, on to the next one. We're skipping the Frenchies, the French marathons and sprints right now. We're just sticking to the slow puppies that I entered last time. That's something I want to just continue to build while I'm on stream. And hopefully it's something we can look back on, right? So let's go ahead and take Love on there. We get a week 17 correlation between Amon-Ra and Mr. Tight End 1 for Chicago. Building a zero RB team here, and this is something I will touch on later tonight with Nez. But the zero running back landscape is actually quite beautiful right now. I think you can execute it quite well, even given the lack of information we have right now. It's a little bit modified zero running back approach. I don't want to talk about it too much right now because it will be one of the main topics on tonight's show. But if you just like push running back up a little bit and say like my zero RB starts in round 4 instead of round 7, and you build out that way and still take the same archetype of players just a little bit earlier. Just given that the running back position is priced up this year, you can build some nasty teams, and we will touch more on that tonight and touch more on that as we get more through these slow puppies. So right now we are about to be done here. And then, like I promised you to the 4 people in here, I will be ripping a FIFA draft, a World Cup draft, something I've had a fair amount of success with this tournament. Thankfully, knock on wood, I can finish strong. I'm on a little bit of a dry spell right now, but we're still, incredibly profitable. If you're curious, you can check out udtracker.com. You can see all the big boys up there in the leaderboards and their profits. If you're curious, shout out to Chris from the Deposit Kingdom Discord for building that. Javante Williams, or Josh Allen. Here we can go. Let's go Tay Williams right here. Keep it nice and simple. Listen to the solver. Should we speed run these? You know what? We'll speed run these so we can get straight to FIFA. I don't even know if you motherfuckers want to listen to FIFA talk right now, but it's going to be coming here in a second. We take Jared Goff to stack up. Ooh, okay, see. Let's do a little bit investigating here. Where is the Amon-Ra drafter in this draft? And how many quarterbacks do you have? You have, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take Jared Goff here. Just don't need to push him. I thought maybe if the Amon-Ra drafter already taken a quarterback or two, we can, push it to the next round, but we're taking Mr. Goff here. We have a running, okay, chat, man. This is where having more than 3 people in the fucking chat would be really nice. So I can be like, chat, tell me to take Jared Goff or not. And then you guys would be like, take Jared Goff, Dave, and I can fucking take him. Justifiably so. We'd listen to the solver. Keep it simple there, slow puppy. Let's keep it going. Keep it rolling. Kyren Williams falls past ADP. Is this the draft we were just talking about? Yes, it was. So he actually does. So if you rewind a little bit on stream, I talk about Kyren versus Blake Corum, but I also talk about Josh Allen and trying to block out the opponents you are at the turn with. I was touching up on, if I take Josh Allen here, or if I take Kyren Williams right here, which is what the solver was recommending at pick 35, there's a good chance Josh Allen goes here to James Cook drafter. We went in and took that from him, and we still get Kyren Williams. 7 picks past ADP. We will take it at this point in the draft, given his ranking, given his projection, given his ADP. I'm happily going to take Kyren at 38. That's something I'm comfortable with. At 30, not so much. Moving on to the next one. Another slow puppy. Garrett Wilson or Josh Jacobs. Chat, will you let me know? No, you will not, because we did not have enough people in here. That's okay. We're building. We're slowly getting there. We're going to have enough people in here where I can ask chat a question. You guys will answer. Garrett Wilson, pretty easy here. Go on to the next one. The puppy. This puppy is about to be over. We got 2 quarterbacks stacked with a running back. Not the most beautiful team. If you look at our draft cap allocation, we need some wide receiver help. So you know what we're going to do? Do something a little spicy here. A little leverage play in Tyquan Thornton, someone who had a pretty underrated season with the Chiefs last year. A nice deep threat. When he hits in a big way. He hits with 60-yard bombs. He hits with 60-yard touchdowns, 12 fantasy points in one play. It's how you win tournaments, baby. And that's on us, Braylon Allen, someone I'm a little bit more skeptical of. So we're going to go ahead and Who are we taking here, chat? Who are we taking here? Did I hear Charlie Kohler? Did someone in chat say Charlie Kohler? Wow, someone did not say that, but I did in my head, so we're going to fucking take him right now. The bull case on Charlie Kohler. You'll have to wait till tonight for me and us to be drafting together, because we will be discussing that then. If you are a slappy, if you listen to Ship Chasing, or you're a fan of Leg Up, I'm sure you have heard of the bull case on him. If you are an ETR only consumer, you're probably like, why the fuck are you taking Charlie Kohler? Tune in tonight at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern to find out. Pretty easy here. Davante Adams, not much to say. Elite wide receiver. And then we're presented with the JMO or take a running back. We will go JMO. And you know what? We have done enough of these slow drafts. We're about an hour, 15 minutes in. Let's fucking rip a FIFA draft for the few people that are in here. Maybe you're here for the slow drafts. Maybe you're here for the fucking FIFA alpha. But we're going to go ahead and come in here. And I'm going to tell you a little something about draft game strategy. So hopefully this can fill. Actually, I'm also going to enter the $3 one, the free kick, which I won two slides ago. Thank you to Fabian Ruiz, a last minute starter. Okay, whichever one starts first is the one we'll be focusing on. So whether it's the $10 or, okay, perfect, $3 it is. Let's go ahead and get this shit started. Okay, so for one, pretty fun slate. Usually messy slates are really fucking annoying, because when you are drafting, you're basically betting, do I get the first overall pick If you do, you have a chance of win. You have a chance to cash. If you don't, you're basically punting that draft because Messi is such a superior fantasy player. To most people he's competing against on the slates that he has been on previously, that just not getting Messi is just basically you're not cashing. If you see here 35, 36, 27, the floor of 16, even with him scoring, he got subbed out early that game. But yeah, he's basically dropping 30 at will every single game. But this slate, we got Mbappe, we got Lamine, we got Mr. Jude Bellingham. Hey, Jude, don't make it bad. Okay, sorry. I won't sing anymore, I promise. Dembele, Michael Lees, Ozabal. You got so many good players on the slate that you do not need to get the first overall pick to make money to win this tournament. So we'll go ahead and take Mbappe here, pretty easy, and then I will explain my little draft nugget secret that I recommend you doing. It's not as good for this slate in particular. I'll explain why here when we get to the later rounds of this draft. But you'll see what I mean in here in a second. So this is for the semifinals for the World Cup that are happening tomorrow and Wednesday. We got Spain versus France, an absolute classic matchup, a rematch of the 2024 Euro semifinals. Literally the two favorites from the start of the tournament are facing off each other here in Dallas, Texas. Am I going to go to it? No, I'm too poor. Should I go to it? Probably. Anyways, we got a nice Dembele Mbappe stack right here. Can we get Michael Olise? No, we cannot because he went 5th overall. So if you have no idea what the fuck FIFA is, if you have no idea, if you're not a footy bro, I wasn't either until a few weeks ago. The scoring is quite simple. I'll go ahead and show it on the screen real quick. But basically, you're playing for goals, you're playing for crosses, you're playing for clean sheets if you're a defender or goalkeeper. That is scoring here, and you're probably like, why does the defender on the underdog project so well or has such a high ADP? And let me tell you, Pedro Porro is one of the best offensive defensive players that is not only in the World Cup, but on the slate in particular. He gets upfield really well. He's basically like a right wing back, but he takes shots on goals. He has capability of crashing the box on headers or on set pieces. Just a really easy click. And you get the added benefit if they somehow clean sheet. You get the extra 5 points. Now, in this particular team, in this particular simulation, we are not playing for the clean sheet because we have the two French strikers. But we can play for him to score a goal against France. So we're building a nice little game stack from this game. More than likely going to be more lower scoring than the England-Argentina game. But we'll get to this little draft hack here in a second. So let's go ahead and scroll all the way down. And let's find a French player. Or maybe... Yeah, so we can do this with Victor Munoz, or if you're France, who's someone that I know will never sub on, and if they sub on, I'm gonna be beyond tilted. Maeta got some playing time. I don't want to take him. Konate probably has no chance to start, or definitely no chance to start, no chance to play. We're gonna take Conte on this team at some point, and I'll explain why here in a second. Let me go ahead and take. I imagine the Clan Rice is gonna project the best once projections are up. Take him. He is someone who's dealing with a hamstring injury, so if you're a little skeptical in that regard, do not take him. But he is someone that can get there without scoring goals. So we're gonna take him with the opposing goalkeeper. He's someone that takes set pieces. He's someone that can get shots on target. So if it's a game where, let's say, England is scoring a bunch of, not scoring a bunch, they are shooting a bunch of shots on target, and Emi Martinez is getting a bunch of saves, but they're not scoring, that's a scenario where the Clan Rice can have a lot of chances created, a lot of set piece taken, a lot of corners taken, and Emmy is optimal because of all the shots he's saving. So I know some people are kind of scared to stack offensive players against the opposing goalie. One, even on slates that aren't the small, it's perfectly okay. But given the type of player the Clan Rice is, it's perfectly fine. So Conte, you're probably like, why the fuck are you taking Conte? If you know anything about ball, you know he's not going to play a lick of playing time against tomorrow unless all the midfielders get assassinated before the game or something. We are taking him because there are rumors that Argentina are going to switch up their formation, meaning they might be starting someone new. given the slate does not have a lot of edges. There are a few edges that, yeah, you might take Rabiot in the last round. He's pretty much undrafted, and he's someone that can get on the score sheet, whether assist or score. Yeah, he's a leverage play, but I'm talking true leverage play that can sincerely win you a tournament. Is taking a player that you could swap out for the Argentina game. So the lineups are pretty much set in France, Spain, and England. I believe everyone for England's going to play. The right back situation still a little murky there. But what we're trying to get here is we're trying to swap from Conte, someone who is not going to play a singles minute. And if that's the case, he will. If Conte does not play a single minute, then you can sub him. It's like a late swap. You can then sub him on a player from the next game. And since we won't have the information about who is going to start for Argentina, there are a lot of players that can break the slate, or really not even break the slate, but just score that you can swap onto, like Nico Paz, like Thiago Almada. I don't think he starts, but what I'm really looking for is Simon right here, son of Atletico Madrid's the coach slash manager. He's someone that's good. That's being rumored that might start in the new formation. They need some youth against this English team because right now, if they have done what they've done the last few games, they're going to get fucking waxed by England. So why am I taking Conte? The hope is he doesn't play. He most likely won't. And then we could swap on to an Argentinian player when we get some more information. Normally, we can absolutely, without a doubt, know that we get that swap without even having to sweat the minutes because there are players that get ruled out that do not get the out tag on underdog. For whatever reason that is, I just don't know if they have that in their database for FIFA or they just have to manually do it and they decide not to. But normally you can just take an out player and then when you get more information, sub onto someone for the next game. We can't do that with the French and Spanish game. So we're going to take Conte, hope he doesn't play. And when we get the lineup for Argentina tomorrow or even England, because they might start Nane over Saka, if you want to go that route. I will probably go the Argentina route because there will be more leverage on the field. And like I said, I don't think there's a massive edge on this slate. So being able to get a goal scorer that's like 5% owned, it's how you take down these type of tournaments. It's how I took down this tournament just a few days ago. So, yeah, man, that's a little FIFA alpha for you. Nothing crazy. If you're an absolute veteran in the DFS underdog streets, this is nothing new to you. But we are about done with the stream right now. I appreciate the 5 people watching in for tuning in, for listening to me for an hour and a half. That's honestly insane that anyone would willingly do that without like me pointing a gun to their head. But tonight, it's going to be a lot better. Tonight, we got Ness coming on at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, we got Evan Silva. Next day, we got Peter Overset at 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe I should fucking know this since I just tweeted this out on the Solver Twitter. Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, noon. We got Peter Overset coming on for a BBM. Friday, we got Herzig, 2 p.m. Eastern for a BBM. Lots of exciting guests this week. If you're a viewer and you want to come on stream and hop on and just draft with me, even if you don't have a platform, let me know, bro. I would love to meet you, talk to you, have you on stream. Just DM me on Twitter, comment on this video, say something to me so I know I can invite you on stream. But the more, the merrier. But yeah, we have an exciting week coming on. I have some more slow drafts, slow draft heavens planned for some time in the week. It's going to be a little bit more impromptu than the more scheduled stuff. And then on Thursday or Saturday, I believe, I'm going to be attempting. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go, but I'm either going to be attempting a bunch of fast puppies at once where I go up in five draft increments until I go clinically insane and I feel the need to log off because my brain is fried. So I start with 5 slow puppies using the Solver Draft Assistant, then 10, then 15, then 20. And if I can somehow get to 25, I will do that. I don't know. Don't know if I can do that. We're trying to still build good teams here using the Solver, but it's going to be just like straight auto clicking through these drafts. So that's, or I might just do like 15 off the rip and not even build up to it. We're still deciding. But we got some fun series here. We're doing something a little bit more different than most people in the best ball community are doing. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I gotta think of a good fucking outro because right now I'm just repeating my gratitude for everyone in here. I will think of something once I become like a pro bull streamer. But yeah, well, we're getting there. But yeah, chat. Appreciate you for tuning in. I will catch you guys later in about 8 hours for the stream with Naz. It's gonna be a good one. Appreciate you guys for all coming on. Until next time. Peace. That was such a shitty intro or outro. I'm working on it. Okay. Goodbye, chat.